Morning friends of class 12th. Today we are going to study the topic of study of cells. Now, first of all, what do you mean by a cell? If in any circuit we want the current to flow, we want the electric power to flow, then we need the help of a cell, and you have been using the symbol of cell in many circuits. This is the circuit symbol of a cell. The bigger terminal is positive, the smaller terminal is negative. This convention is followed in many other ways also. Just remember, the bigger terminal is positive, the smaller terminal is negative. Now what is this? This is a cell, but this same symbol is used for DC source also. That means this can be a cell or this can be a DC source. Now if this is DC source, what is the AC source? This symbol is used for AC source. Now, sometimes one cell is not enough to generate the required power, so we connect two or more cells like this, and this is a battery. Okay, a compound cell is known as a battery, and whenever I put an arrow over it like this, it's still a battery, but it becomes a variable battery. Variable battery means we can set this battery for the required voltage. Whatever voltage we want, we can set it through the variable battery. This is what a cell actually works. Now I am going to tell you that how does a cell actually works. To make a cell, we need a vessel or a container. Inside this container, we will have two electrodes. Electrodes are nothing but metallic strips or metallic rods. One of it is known as cathode, which is the positive terminal. The other is known as anode, which is the negative terminal, and they are dipped inside a solution which is known as the electrolytic solution. Okay, now what exactly happens that there is some chemical reaction going inside the electrode which produces positive and negative ions. The positive ions get collected at one terminal and the negative ions get collected on the other terminal. So, due to collection of positive ions on this terminal, this becomes positively charged, this becomes negatively charged. You can say this has a positive potential plus V. This has a negative potential minus V. So you have 2 points. One is of positive potential, other is of negative potential. Because of this, there is a potential difference. And when you connect these two terminals by any conducting wire, okay, so on one side of the wire you have positive, other side of the wire you have negative potential, and whenever potential difference is there, the current begins to flow from plus to minus, from higher voltage to lower voltage. So this is how the cell supplies current to us. Now, the simplest cell what we have seen is a dry cell. There are other cells also, galvanic cell, Leclanche cell, there are many other cells. Some of those cells which can be used only once, you cannot recharge them. They are known as primary cells. Primary cells means used only once. And there are some cells which can be recharged over and over again, like the battery of your mobile phone. You use it, it becomes blank, again you recharge it. So those rechargeable cells are known as secondary cells, and they can be used multiple number of times. Okay, it is simply some cells are primary cells, some cells are secondary cells, because I told you whatever thing is happening over here, it is because of chemical reaction. Now if the chemical reaction is reversible, you understand what is a reversible chemical reaction? So if the chemical reaction in the cell is reversible, then you get a secondary cell. And if this is not reversible, what you get is a primary cell. Okay. Now this was about the cells. Now what we come to is what factors actually affect the cells. Please keep this diagram in mind. The diagram which I have drawn, it should be there in your mind. Now there are some factors which affect the working of this cell. Okay, the first factor that works is the material or materials. Which materials we are using to make a cell? Three basic things: cathode, anode and the electrolytic solution. Now cathode and anode are always made up of metals. One metal or the other metal, the one metal is usually having a higher electronegativity compared to the other metal. Clear? But both of them are metals. Because they are metals, they are going to offer some resistance. Because electrolyte is used, again you are going to use a material. Every material has got its own resistance. So because of the presence of these three things, anode, cathode and the electrolyte, there is a resistance inside the cell also, which is known as internal resistance. What is it known as? It is known as internal resistance. Okay. Internal resistance of a cell can affect the working of a cell in many different ways. So what we are going to discuss now is that how an internal resistance, which factors are affecting internal resistance. Clear? Because if this is affected, the working of cell will be affected. So the first point, materials. If the materials that you have used to make the anode and cathode, they have high resistance, obviously the internal resistance of cell will be high. And if these materials have low resistance, then the internal resistance of the cell will also be low. Got it? So first thing is materials. Second thing is temperature. What is it? Temperature. Now how temperature affects the internal resistance of a cell? See, I'm going to draw that cell once again. The container, electrolyte, then I have this cathode, then I have this anode. What is this? This is an electrolytic solution. How an electrolytic solution is made? See, if you even add salt to water, it becomes an electrolytic solution, because salt, NaCl, is going to dissociate into two things, Na plus, Cl minus. So that is also a electrolytic solution. If you dissolve sugar in water, it is again an electrolytic solution. Okay. So we are preparing this electrolytic solution by putting some solute inside solvent. If the temperature of this electrolytic solution is high, the temperature is more, then what do you think? More number of dissociation, or the quantity of dissociation will be less or more? It will be obviously more. If temperature increases, the solution has more number of ions. Very simple to understand. You want to dissolve sugar in water. Okay? Will the sugar dissolve easily when the water is hot or when the water is cold? Obviously, when the water is hot, the sugar dissolves easily. So here also, the salt will dissolve easily in this electrolytic solution when the temperature is more. More dissociation takes place, more number of positive and negative ions now become available, and because more number of ions are becoming available, ions means positive and negative charge ions, because more ions are becoming available, that means resistance of this solution will become less. So what happens? Just remember this, temperature increases, internal resistance decreases. Try to connect the temperature and the resistance. Okay? Temperature increases, internal resistance decreases. The third thing that affects the internal resistance of the cell is the contact area. Which contact area? It is the contact area between the electrodes and electrolytes. See, cathode, anode and electrolytic solution. Now, these electrodes have to be dipped inside the electrolytic solution. Okay, and this is the contact area of cathode, this is the contact area of anode. Now, if I increase this contact area, I can do this in many different ways. I can just dip this electrodes down a little more, or I can raise the level of electrolytic solution. Clear? Now what happens if I increase the contact area? The contact area now increases. And because the contact area increases, more number of ions can be accumulated. They can be getting collected on cathode and anode more times. So what happens if you increase the contact area? See, you can correct it in very simple manner. Also, resistance, you know that resistance is inversely proportional to area. So if you increase the area, the resistance will decrease. So same thing, same logic happens over here. Contact area increases, internal resistance decreases. Third factor. The fourth factor on which the internal resistance depends is the distance of electrodes. Again, very simple. See, if I bring these two electrodes close to each other, okay, if I bring these two electrodes close to each other, let me show you. Take a big container this time. Solution, this is cathode, this is anode, this is the distance between them. Now, at this distance, there is some exchange of ions between cathode and anode. The current flows in the outer part as well as in the inner part. Now, if I decrease the distance is L. Again, see. What happens? What is the relation between resistance and length? Resistance is directly proportional to length. If the distance is decreased, then the positive and negative terminals will come closer. Because they come closer, there will be a small gap between them. Ions can travel easily. If the gap is increased, then ions will have to cover a longer distance. Okay, if the distance to be covered by ions is longer, what happens to the resistance? resistance increases. So distance of electrodes, if you increase the distance of electrodes, what happens to resistance? Resistance increases. Okay, now the last factor is fresh cell or stale cell. See, what happens when you go for a fresh cell? If you are connecting a fresh cell into your circuit, it functions very well. After some time, what happens? After some time, the functioning of cell creates a problem. What exactly is going on? Is the material being used up? No, it is not used up. The material inside the cell, it is not going outside, or outside material is not coming inside. What exactly happens is this. This is a fresh cell. As you use it, and as the cell gets older, it gets stale, there are some deposits. Salt gets on depositing on these electrodes. Now as this gets deposited, you might have seen this if you have opened the battery of a scooty or the battery of a bike. Sometimes it so happens you just open that battery. On the electrodes there are some white colored or green colored deposits. You remove those deposits, put it back, it starts functioning again. So what you are exactly doing is you are removing these deposits. Okay. Now how do the deposits get collected? Because obviously positive ions reach this place, negative ions reach this place. If they are not able to transfer, they will stick to these electrodes. When they stick to these electrodes, they will reduce the area of contact. If they reduce the area of contact, what happens? Resistance increases. So a fresh cell has smaller internal resistance, but a stale cell has greater internal resistance. These 5 factors affect the internal resistance of cell, which in turn also affects the functioning of the cell.